coming up on Lifestyle.
The reason why I got into acting at a young age, we always had a lot of family chaos going on. I thought was normal. Now I realize it wasn't. My parents always came to everything, very supportive, dysfunctional, but yet very supportive. That was very important. Everybody wants to be an actor. Why? Because actors make it look so easy.
If there's one thing I cannot do, is I can't act.
You do it every day.
But I'm just me.
Honestly, you gotta love yourself a lot to be an actor.
Welcome to Lifestyle, the award-winning life coaching show that helps you live your best life possible. Here's your host, Roy Ice.
Have you ever met someone whose passion didn't just inspire you, but also moved you to action? Yeah, me too. And today's guest is one of those rare forces. With roots in both acting and coaching, she's helped countless artists step into their truth, own their voice, and deliver performances that leave a lasting impact. Now she's bringing that same bold, transformative energy into the world of life coaching, equipping people with the tools to build confidence, make intentional choices, and show up fully in every area of life. Please help me welcome the incredible Shari Shaw.
Hi, you guys. Thank you, Roy. Hi.
Shari,
How
thank
are
you. I'm wonderful now.
Hi, everybody.
I'm great now.
Okay, fantastic.
That you're on the show.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this so much.
Oh, awesome.
Because if there's one thing I cannot do, is I can't act.
You do it every day.
But I'm just me.
Yeah,
And so,
well, that is very important, to be you.
so I want to talk to you because you're doing some incredible stuff. But
Thank you.
I want to go back because there's some foundational things that you build upon with this that I don't have, and I'm sure many of our viewers don't have.
Yeah.
Which is when we think of the prospect of becoming an actor, we immediately think, but where do you draw from within yourself something that comes across as
Yeah.
believable? What do you teach people to do in order to create these real characters?
Yes. Well, everybody wants to be an actor. Why? Because actors make it look so easy.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not. It is a process.
Yeah.
And you have to really understand who you are, what makes you tick, your life experiences, your big imagination that you have to have that makes you fluid and rich and quirky and weird and free and awesome.
Yeah.
And then when you take the writer's words that are not yours,
Yeah.
you have to take those words and put it in your body and make it seem like you wrote them.
Yeah. And
So-
that's the challenge that I have absolutely no idea how to do that.
It's there's steps to use. It's about doing it all the time. You have to get your body relaxed, which we're going to go into later.
Cool.
You have to understand what you're saying. You have to understand the character's point of view, the relationships. It's like everything you do in life, except somebody else is telling you how to do it, and you got to make it your own.
Becoming
Becoming.
that person, letting yourself become that person.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't know if these are urban myths or whatever, but I love a couple of stories. One of Henry Winkler when he's starting out as the Fonz, and he's supposed to go up to the mirror and comb his hair. Instead, he goes up to the mirror, takes out the comb and goes, hey, and puts the comb back in the pocket.
Right.
And the urban myth, I don't know if it's real, but the director was angry because he wanted him to follow the direction of combing his hair. But the actor was like, but my character would not do that.
Yeah.
My character would say, it's perfect.
Yeah.
In the same way Harrison Ford was supposed to say, I love you back to Leia in Return of the Jedi. And instead he goes, I know.
That's
and
because he
says,
knew the character so well, and he had thoughts, and he fleshed out that whole character,
Yeah.
and he went with his impulse.
Yeah.
Just in life, people don't really always go with their impulse. So the magic of acting, it actually gives you permission to be in your inner child to go with your impulse. And when you know the character, it's all good. I really don't think the director would be mad because I think that was kind of brilliant.
It was, well, it ended up in the title block and everything.
Yeah.
It was in every single show
Yeah.
after that because it was brilliant. It established that character in one move.
Yeah. That's what's great about acting.
Absolutely.
A behavioral life, an environmental life, what's going on around you, your emotional life, what's going on the inside, and then the connection.
Yeah.
There's got to be that vulnerability. And everything you do in acting, just like in life, it's a conversation.
Yeah.
It's a conversation with a different arc of the storytelling because you have to get a message with the writer's words.
Yeah.
And in life, we're having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are having a conversation with us. You're hanging out. You're feeling a part of.
Yeah.
And the thoughts that everyone's feeling while listening is the same thoughts that you feel as an actor.
Yeah.
Because you're present.
Yeah.
And what we're talking about might trigger something about your life that triggers you. And that's what acting is.
Yeah.
Living, breathing, bringing a three-dimensional life to a character, to your life.
Yeah. I was just at a broadcasters convention a couple of months ago, and they were talking about AI coming in. And one of the funniest things I heard was, we've had all these strikes here in Hollywood, and someone on a panel brought up their favorite saying on a sign was, AI can't take my job because it didn't have my childhood trauma. And I imagine because of how successful you've been, there's been some stuff you've had to draw from.
The reason why I got into acting at a young age, we always had a lot of family chaos going on. I thought was normal. Now I realize it wasn't. A dysfunctional father. But my twin sister, she decided she was going to go to the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute on Highland and Hollywood Boulevard. And I was like, I'm going to copy you. And I'm going to get on that bus and do the same thing. And we went to the kids class, and I was hooked right then because I got to allow myself to, instead of pent up the tension that I felt in the house, I got to express it and let it out.
Yeah.
And then, of course, my father, all this chaos led to him going to prison. And that was a transformational, life-changing moment for me, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
There is a lot.
There is a
in
lot.
a story of your dad going
There's a lot.
to prison. You don't want to miss it. Stay right there. We'll be right back. We're back with Shari Shaw.
Yes.
Now, Shari, you left us with quite a cliffhanger.
Yes.
Your dad going to prison.
Yeah. So I'm pursuing my career as an actor, young actor, 24 years old. And I am doing a play, and my parents always came to everything, very supportive, dysfunctional, but yet very supportive. That was very important. So I'm on stage, and I'm not hearing my dad's gregarious laugh.
Yeah.
And that was always cue to me that, okay, it's going well. And I'm thinking, something's wrong. So I come outside. And I see my mom, she's standing outside and she's holding her like faux fur sweater and she's looking really uptight. And I'm like, Mom, what's going on? She's like, well, dear, there has been a problem. Your dad's been arrested and taken away on like 18 counts of racketeering, insurance fraud. My husband knows all the counts because he's memorized them. I don't really remember them. So it was devastating. And it really shook me. It was a very, very painful time. It really wreaked, havoc on my self-esteem.
Yeah.
And I had to really go deep in the years therein to rebuild who I was, unattach myself from the umbilical cord to what the family was, and really become my own person.
One of the greatest life-changing moments was when you found that you were not alone. You had a cheerleader, someone who not only supported what you were doing, but really was excited about what you're doing. And I think we should bring him out.
I think so.
Please help me welcome Shari's husband, the award-winning writer, producer, and
Yes.
director of comedy for TV, film, and stage, Rick Shaw.
Yes. Where is he?
Hi, Roy.
Rick, thank you so much for being here, man.
So happy to be here.
Yes.
Hi, hon.
Hi, honey.
I can honestly say this is the first time we've had a rickshaw on set. And I've been waiting all day to say that.
Well, that's okay. That's fun.
I'm sure you've heard every joke there is about rickshaws.
Yes, Roy, I have. As a matter of fact. But give it a shot.
Would
See
you want to share
what do
your
you got?
favorite? Would you want to share your favorite? No, you don't have to.
No, but I do want to say that if you marry a woman with daddy issues, be careful. Okay? No. I made the right choice.
You brought so much support and love and cheerleading into what Shari
Well, I'm afraid
does.
our father's people are going to come after me, so I have to be careful.
You noticed something that Shari was doing that was transferable to everyday life.
Yes.
Talk to me about what you saw and what was the aha moment for you of realizing that what Shari had in her hands was something that was life coaching material.
Well, it was very apparent to me that the tools she teaches actors are applicable to other things. And there was one, I had been talking about it to her for years, but there was one episode when she had to deal with her family and her mother and her sisters regarding the estate and things and a mess that her father had made, and she had to go have a meeting with her family. And she was uptight and she was nervous and she didn't want to have a confrontation with the sister and she didn't want to yell at the mother and she wanted everybody to be okay. And I said, why don't we go through a little character prep like you do, create a little character biography, do this, do that. And we sat in a Starbucks and we went over it. And she basically created a character for herself and walked into the into her family's powwow.
And I
it worked out
picked
great.
3 traits of the character, and I was like, I want to be calm and focused and present. And I breathed into it, just like I prepped for my other actors, how to breathe the life into their character. And I had a most wonderful meeting, and I called him and I was like, this is amazing. This is so helpful. We could do this with everybody.
I love
was
that, Rick.
aha.
You see things from a different perspective of creating characters. And I have pretty good memory, but my memory can't remember this long list. So I'm going to have to read this. Rick, you were producer on CBS's The Nanny for 7 seasons. You've won and or been nominated for 2 Cable Ace Awards. Hang on, it's a long list. 2 Valley Theater Awards, 2 NAACP Image Awards, a Crystal Award, Ovation Award, an Emmy. You understand building characters.
I'm bigger than this show, is what you're saying.
I can't believe you took my call.
Really, can I sit there? Because you ought to be coming on second, and I ought to be sitting.
I love the fact that because of your background of understanding how to help people build character, how you saw this transfer. How has this affected your relationship now that you're doing this together?
We're constantly role-playing as different people because it helps us a lot. We're working on this project, her Act As If, Live As If project together, and it helps. I mean, it helped. She helped me a lot when I was working on The Nanny. On a TV show, you work in a big writing room, and there's all these writers, and everybody's pitching their ideas and trying to be heard and trying to get their jokes on the show. And I was a little uptight and intimidated by certain people. And Shari really helped me be more performative and more, and able to speak out better. And it really helped me a lot in my career.
I love that. Now, I want us to really go through the experience of what you do to help people act as if and live as if, the life coaching section. So if you guys can kind of prep in your mind to take us through an actual experience that we and the audience can go through, I think that would make an incredible segment. And you don't want to go away, because that's what we're going to do right when we come back. And we're back with Shari and Rick Shaw, and joining us is my good friend, Jenean Atwood-Baines. She is our producer who actually introduced me to the Shaws. And you are very significant because you actually went to one of their workshops, Act As If, Live As If. And so I brought you here because I need some support and help. And since you've gone through it, I need your help.
I'm here for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenean. Now tell us, we're going to do some activity. What does this do?
Well, and I say we as in Rick really created this program. He really took all the tools and the steps that I use as an acting coach, and he's like, let me let's rearrange this and make it for non-actors to bring out their best self, to overcome any, issues you have in life, to create a role of a lifetime.
The way actors create roles for themselves, you can create a role for yourself and be whoever you want to be in whatever situation you want to be.
So before you embarrass me and
Yeah.
make me do things I don't want to do,
Yeah.
you went through this.
Yes.
And you light up every time you talk about it. What did the workshop do for you?
So I have suffered with anxiety my entire life. Anybody can relate? Like crippling anxiety? So much so that I will get up that morning, whatever I have to face that day, I will dry heave. Uncontrollable dry heaves. Horrible. And it makes me feel weak and powerless, and then I'm angry with myself for being this old and still giving into the anxiety. Went to the workshop in February.
Yeah.
4 hours. Life-changing.
Thank you.
I took the tools with me. And my dad and I are children's book authors, so we were starting our book tour. Got up that morning, day of the book tour, and the dry heaves were just waiting for me to open my eyes. And I said, wait a minute, I don't have to live like this anymore. I have tools. And I just went over what Shari taught me. And I didn't dry heave. I'm gonna cry. I didn't dry heave once.
Love.
I'm 54. I've been dry heaving for 45 years.
And I
it
noticed you
makes me
did
feel
not
so
bring a bucket or a bag with you on stage.
I don't
here.
need it.
don't need it.
Relax.
That's excellent.
But I fell in love with them because what I got in 4 hours was life-changing.
That's amazing.
Let me just say, there's 7 steps through the process.
Yes.
Yeah.
Warming up, relaxing, creating your scenario that you want to deal with, your problem, working on your character biography, using various tools and tactics, dealing with whoever else is in the room, putting yourself in the moment before you enter the scene.
They become artists without being an actor.
Nice.
It's so empowering. I'm obsessed with it. Not to, brag about it, but it's just, and when you tell me stories how much it worked and everyone that day left and they were so inspired.
Yes.
It's so, Roy, it's so great to inspire people.
Absolutely.
It's just,
Absolutely.
it just fills you.
Yeah.
And in the next step, she would take you through a relaxation to get you grounded and focused. Now that you're out here, she gets you down. And the whole purpose is to get you in touch with yourself.
Yeah.
And one of the tools you do is this critic exercise.
Yes, the critic exercise, because everybody has a critic that sits on their shoulder. It could be
Yes.
yourself, it could be your partner, it could be anything.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do, and Jenean is gonna do a little demonstration,
Cool.
and we're gonna put that chair in the center, and you're gonna stand and imagine who that critic is, and it could be yourself. And then you're gonna let that critic have it. Tell her why it's not gonna sit on your shoulder, why it's not gonna,
Yes.
wreak havoc on you anymore, how you're gonna overcome it, and the reasons why.
All right.
Shall we? Let's applaud for her.
do it.
Yeah.
Jenean.
Come on, Jenean.
You got it.
It's a
Okay.
very cathartic exercise, and sometimes it even helps if you're just going into an event that you're feeling nervous. And if you can really take a step back and figure out what is making you nervous and get it out before you go in. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And I am speaking to my inner critic.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
I can't remember a time when I have not heard your voice. In fact, your voice has been louder than God's voice most of the time. And you have what-ifed me to death. And I knew something was shady about you because you never what-ifed possible wonderful things. You always what-ifed the negative things. I can't even imagine how many blessings I've missed out on listening to you. Opportunities that fell in my lap, and I got up and walked away because you said I couldn't do it.
Now tell him why.
You said I didn't have it. I didn't have enough. Well, I know now that I don't have to listen to you anymore. It's a choice. It's a choice. And I know that I don't get a do-over, but I do have a do now button, and I have a do more button. And that's what I'm going to use. So you don't have to get lost, but just know that I'm not listening anymore.
Say goodbye to it.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Beautiful.
We gotta life-changing stuff. We got to take a break, but we'll be right back. Becoming the best version of yourself isn't about perfection. It's about elevation. It's choosing growth over ego when someone pushes your buttons, choosing grace over reaction when your feelings are bruised, and choosing integrity when you disappoint someone, even if it stings. Science backs this up. A 2018 study from the Journal of Positive Psychology found that people who practiced emotional regulation and self-reflection reported higher life satisfaction, healthier relationships, and even better physical health. Turns out how we respond is often more powerful than what we're responding to. So picture yourself as a mountain. Not every storm deserves your landslide. When someone throws shade, respond with light. When you're hurt, don't erupt, elevate. And when you fall short, don't crumble, own it, grow from it, and stand tall again. The best version of you, it's already inside. You're just revealing it one brave choice at a time. Thank you. Don't forget that you can find exclusive content on all of our guests. Check us out on social media using the handle Lifestyle with Roy.